Hello there, and welcome to the Eren Endgame Theory video. The purpose of this video is to explain what Eren has been doing for the last 2 arcs of Attack on Titan. So, after reading chapter 125, my brother and I were discussing what Eren could be planning, since neither of us believe the rumbling is really it. And even though on Reddit people have been throwing around the idea that Eren is pulling a Lelouch, it doesn't really feel like something Isayama, the creator of Attack on Titan, would do, since it's already been done before. Besides, a Zero Requiem doesn't make any sense for someone in Eren's position, which I'll get into a bit more later. While talking, my brother and I hypothesized a possible explanation for what Eren has been doing since the beginning of the Marley arc, and we'll call it Eren's Endgame. So, spoilers for Attack on Titan chapter 125. If you haven't read the manga up to this point, please read it for yourself and then come back. But before we begin, let's examine the world of Attack on Titan for a bit. From the onset, it has been a brutal place to live in. A world of forced cannibalism and eugenics. Eugenics, by the way, is the science of improving a population by controlled breeding, like you see in cattle. Now, my brother and I both agree that Eren can't be trying to unite the world against him, since even if the Eldians and Marleys work together to stop Eren, they'd go right back to killing each other straight afterwards. Also, Eren's actions would convince the Marleys that they have no choice but to exterminate all the Eldians, which is clearly not what Eren wants. So what's the plan here? What's Eren's endgame? We know that it isn't to kill all Marley, since that would be too obvious and immoral. Moreover, it's also very suspicious that we haven't had any Eren POVs since the end of the Return to Shiganshina arc, or more specifically, since Eren touched Historia's hand and accessed the power of the Founding Titan. From that point on, Eren's been telling us that they need to kill everyone outside the walls, as seen in chapter 90. But no way would Isayama spoil the end of Attack on Titan only 2/3 of the way through his story. Now, Isayama said in a 2014 interview that he already had the end of Attack on Titan in mind from its very conception. But then, in 2017, he revealed that he changed the original ending because it was too bleak and it wouldn't be fair to the reader. What all this proves is that Isayama has been thinking about how Attack on Titan is going to end for a very long time. We can also extrapolate that Isayama's original ending must have been horribly depressing, which is saying something from the George R.R. Martin of anime. So, to get into this theory explanation, we have to start at the very beginning, because this is the first clue to how Isayama plans to end Attack on Titan. For those of you who don't remember, the first chapter of Attack on Titan is titled, To You, 2,000 Years From Now, clearly a reference to time travel. Moreover, when Eren wakes up, he's clearly seen the future, evidenced by the fact that he mentions how long Mikasa's hair has gotten, and in the current arc, Mikasa's hair has never been shorter. We possibly also hear Mikasa's final words to him, "See you later, Eren." So what this proves is that Eren has been seeing into the future from the very beginning of Attack on Titan. But this shouldn't be possible since Eren doesn't even have the Attack Titan power in chapter 1. This could be just a plot hole left by Isayama, but we like to think that it means everything we see in Attack on Titan is just a memory of Eren's future past. Which means everything that happens actually hasn't happened yet, if that makes any sense. We think Eren is sending his memories to someone in the past. Now, I know you might be thinking, no. The chapter 1 title is in reference to Eren's discussion with the original Founding Titan, Ymir Fritz, in chapter 122, since this chapter is titled To You, 2,000 Years Ago. But we think Isayama is secretly planting the setup for his final payoff, the same way he set up Reiner, Annie, and Bertolt's betrayal back in the first arc, the Smiling Titan being Diana Fritz, Grisha's first wife, and foreshadowing Eren's sudden appearance in Libero. A twist is generally better if it is set up beforehand, and Isayama has had 9 years to plan this big reveal. Now, in chapter 122, Future Memories, Eren communicates back in time, telling Ymir Fritz that she will get to choose humanity's fate, showing us that conversations can take place between the past and the future. So what does all this tell us? Well, we think it means Eren is communicating with someone else in the exact same way. But not Ymir Fritz. No, Eren is communicating with the only other person who can see everything that Eren can. The holder of the Attack Titan power 100 years ago during the Titan Civil War, since this person will ultimately decide the fate of the Eldian Empire. My brother and I have 2 candidates for who this could be. The first is a member of the family who took Eren Kruger in as a child, or our preferred pick, the Marlinian legend Helos, who was first introduced all the way back in chapter 97. Helos is proclaimed by Marley to be a hero for slaying the devil of all Earth, despite overwhelming odds. Now, he clearly didn't kill the Founding Titan, So it's more likely that he killed the next most important shifter, the Attack Titan. However, it might be possible that Helos is actually an Ackerman and possesses Eledian blood. So he didn't just kill the devil, but rather he stole the Attack Titan power for himself. We think having Marley's greatest hero being secretly a half Eledian Ackerman is exactly the kind of thing Isayama would do. It would also explain why Ackermans were persecuted inside the walls. One of their own betrayed the king and stole the power of the Attack Titan. This is why Taiba claimed Helos wasn't real, and explains why he has remained a myth for the last 100 years, to hide the fact that he was secretly half Eledian. Now, in chapter 121, Future Memories, we learn that the holder of the Attack Titan can peer into the future and, like Zeke says, influence the past. And this reinforces our theory that Helos stole the Attack Titan power, because otherwise, why did the Attack Titan holder allow the Eledian Empire to collapse if he could peer into the future and also influence the past? Therefore, we think an Ackerman stole the power of the Attack Titan, and this led to most of the Titan shifters turning on each other, as well as the collapse of the Eldian Empire. Helos is credited with being clever and cunning, able to fuel the infighting among the Eldians and bring about the fall of their empire. Now, going back to chapter 121, Memories of the Future, we learn a lot of vital information. Firstly, we learn that Grisha didn't want to kill the Reese children, but that Eren influenced the past through memories. Using this method, Eren was able to influence Grisha to kill the Reese family. After Grisha's rampage, he asked Eren to show him everything, meaning Eren deliberately chose not to show him that Carla was already dead. Therefore, Eren knew he could only get Grisha to kill the Reese family if he thought that it had to be done to save Carla. This will be important later on, so try to remember it. On the following page, Grisha tells Zeke that it isn't his wish that will come true, but Eren's. But then Eren decides to show Grisha the memories he got from touching Historia's hand, and suddenly Grisha also sees how it will all end, and is horrified by it. And yet, this is the most important part. Grisha still agrees to go through with it. He injects Eren, allows Eren to influence the events of the church, meaning that, on some level, he agrees with what Eren is doing. And so, this is our theory about Eren's endgame. His plan is to show Helos, the current holder of the Attack Titan power 100 years in the past during the Great Titan War, what will become of humanity's future if he allows the Taiba family and Karl Fritz to send Eldia on the path to self-destruction. Essentially, Eren is holding the future hostage and telling Helos that if he doesn't change the past, he will kill every Marlenian in the future, and there is nothing he can do to stop him. Because when thinking about it, the Titan Civil War worked out way too well for the Marleys for it to be a coincidence. Helos must have had a hand in it. So, we think Helos' dream is for Marley to acquire global supremacy, but Eren, through using his memories, will show him what it will cost: the eventual extinction of all Marley. Helos will see all of Marley destroyed and agree to stop the Taiba family and Karl Fritz's plan to surrender the Eldian Empire to Marley. So, from here, Helos could do a lot of things. One possibility is that he could use the Attack Titan to eat both Karl Fritz and Taiba, taking the Founding and Warhammer Titan powers for himself to become a new type of Titan, the Emperor Titan. After that, he'll be given the choice to fulfill his dream and turn Marley into the most powerful empire of all time. But like Erwin, he will have to give up on that dream. Instead, he'll facilitate in the creation of a peaceful world order between the Eldians and the Marleys, one based on equality, not power. Now this means that Eren, Armin, Mikasa, and everyone else we have ever met will never be born, since Helos would be changing the past, and as we know from the butterfly effect, this would result in none of them being born. This is why after Grisha realizes Eren's plan, he chooses to spend his final moments with Zeke, because he knows all of them are going to be erased from existence, yet he chooses to go along with it to atone for his own sins. It also looks like Eren is doing this to give Grisha the final chance to say goodbye to Zeke. But in the last moment, Grisha tells Zeke to try and stop Eren. We're not sure what this will lead to, but it probably means Zeke will make a return before the end to try and stop Eren one last time. Maybe Gabby will stop him, and this is why Eren has been keeping her alive. He needs her to save him from Zeke, or something. This doesn't have much to do with our theory, but we would also really like to see a fight between Eren and Levi at the end. We also believe that Eren came up with this entire plan all the way back in the Return to Shiganshina arc. The past influences the future, and the future influences the past. Besides, you shouldn't just introduce time travel without good reason. Moreover, we don't think anyone really believes that Eren has actually turned to genocide. The boy who watched those closest to him ripped apart by Titans? No way. Eren hates the world, but not the people in it. And like Mikasa says,
it's a cruel world.
And this is Eren's endgame. He wants to change that fact. This could explain why Eren has been so cruel to Armin and Mikasa. If Eren still had Mikasa and Armin with him all the time, he would see too much good in this world to try and erase it. So he had to distance himself, and the only way to do so was by hurting them. Now, we heard a theory that Helos is actually the spearman who killed Ymir 2,000 years ago, but the way we interpreted it was that Helos is credited with bringing down the Eldian Empire just 100 years ago, and for comparison, that's like mistaking Napoleon with Julius Caesar. Also, why did Eren laugh when Sasha was killed? Because if Eren's goal is the rumbling, he would only be doing this to protect his friends from the outside world. So Eren's behavior really makes no sense there. Connie even brings this up later, so clearly Isayama wants us to take notice. We believe that it was actually this moment when Eren realized it doesn't matter if his friends live or die anymore. His plan is to erase them from existence anyway, and the sudden realization that he no longer has to protect his friends made him laugh. So, in conclusion, we theorize that this could potentially be the depressing ending that Isayama had originally intended for the series, but maybe he decided against it since it would be too brutal. Instead, he'll probably bring everyone back to life through the paths, which were introduced by Kruger when he was talking to Grisha all the way back in chapter 88, which was 2017, the same year he decided to make the ending of Attack on Titan less brutal. Kruger says that the paths transcend physical space, so Eren will probably sacrifice himself to save all the Eledians or something. Therefore, Mikasa and Armin will find themselves in a future where Marley and Eldia are at peace with each other. Not a utopia, but at least something better than they were born into. Maybe we'll find out later that Helos, after establishing a new, peaceful world order, collected the 9 Titan powers and encased himself in a crystal tomb, just like Annie. The main reason we believe this is because you're not supposed to want the Eldians to win the war against Marley. And we don't even think Eren likes the Jaegerists, but is just using them. We think Eren just wants to reset the world and remove all existence of the Titans. Ironically, if Eren were to remove the existence of the Titans, he might bring about the world we all live in today. That's another possibility. Honestly though, we kind of hope Isayama keeps with his brutal ending, no matter what it is. Anyway, that's about it. Thanks for listening.